Awesome, awesome. Hope everyone is having a beautiful day. I know I'm having a good day. We all above ground. That's the main thing. Anyhow, what I've done is took a break from the knives right quick. Not much of a break, but enough to do this. Went ahead and started hafting on that JK, or J&J, excuse me. J&J wedge banging handle and that Warren 4-pound head for goats. As you can see, we're about, ½ inch from the top, 3/4. And I've got it drove down on there pretty good. That's gonna be a beautiful tool, goats. Anyway, I'll get it drove back off there and scrape it on down till we get the head hafted proud. So I'll bring you back when we get ready to drive it on there. All I'm going to do is just take it off, like I said, and just use some scrapers and scrape some material away till we get a good fit all the way around it. Looks like we're good here on the top. Take some off the sides. Look at the top of the head, and we got to take a little bit off the top in the front. Leave it alone in the back. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So I'll bring you back here in just a minute. No sense in y'all watching me scrape for 20 minutes. All right, I got this thing scraped down again. Got all my scraping marks cleaned up. We're gonna fit her back on there one time and see what she looks like. Yeah. Sink it down on there and see what it does. See where it wants to take us, where we need to take it. That's the thing about hafting axes. You always stay in control of the axe hafting. You don't never let it control you. It'll talk to you and tell you what it wants if you'll listen. Gap here, drag in there. It'll tell you what's going on. Let's drive it up there. Oh, we're flush right there. That head is flush. Now, we got a little curl right here. Little curl right there. Little gap in the back, which it'll set on down. It's perfect. Little gap in the front, which that's perfect because when it comes back, it'll fill it up. So it looks like it's just a little curl on this side. Let's see how straight we are. Oh, it's dead straight. The angle looks perfect. Yep. Coach, that's going to be a fine axe. All right. We'll shave her down just a little bit more and we'll get her high and proud. I'll bring you back. See, I want y'all to see this. You see that? You see that curl on that line right there? But if you look back here, you see where that is rubbing just a little bit right there, but nothing in the middle, maybe a little along there. What that tells me is that is making contact with the side of that axe eye up here. What you want is a gap between this edge and the side wall of the axe eye. So when you cut your kerf and drive your wedge, you're going to take that space up. So what I'll have to do is remove this material. But I won't remove it here, just back here. That's going to help that wood splay open above the eye. That's why we have them proud. Nothing here. That's beautiful. That looks good right in there. Little tight right there and right there. Again, like I said, we're dragging here, so we'll remove some material about that far back. That'll allow that to open up when you drive that wedge in it. All right, let's get to getting. I cleaned up one side, but I wanted to bring y'all back. Can y'all see me? Yes, you can. Sometimes when you're doing this, and I know you older men, I'm 58, and I know there's some fellas out there that are still digging, will tell you, sometimes you can't see the problem, but you can feel it. Don't be afraid to close your eyes and let your hands tell you what's wrong with it. Because your fingers can feel what your eyes can't see. Just shut your eyes and rub your hands down it. And you can feel every divot. You can feel the high spots, the valleys. You can feel the burrs. Yeah, you can see where I need to take off. But when you get down there to it, shut your eyes and trust your hands. They'll tell you a lot. So I'm going to clean this side up, and I'll bring you back and we'll put that head on there. I just wanted to share that with y'all. I can feel a lot more than I can see. I know that sounds weird, but anybody that's hafted axes will tell you the same thing. All right, let's try it on there one more time. Looking pretty good, feels pretty good. There might be one little place on the back side I'll have to take off, but I believe she's going to go on there just about where we want her. Let's take it out of the vise. It takes me a little bit longer, yes, because I like to make sure that stuff is tight all the way down. I don't want them to just fall on there. And I make sure that they go on straight. Oh, you can hear it. It's got that hollow sound. It ain't down. Hear that thud? It's just a dull thud. Look at there. That was with minimal effort. We were flush. Now we're a 1/2 inch proud. And we got a little curl right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it on down. There, you hear that? It's almost like working with mild steel and then hitting a piece of hardened tool steel. It's got a little bit more of a ring to it. Hear that? And it's got more bounce to it. Tells me it's down. Oh yeah, got a little curl right there. No big deal. That gap's filled up in the back. And I got a little gap in the front, which that ain't no big deal because that's all the wood I got. And I never took any wood off of this. That's no problem. I got curl on both sides. This side I don't have any, but I have no gap. So that means I could probably take this thing apart, which I'm going to cut the curve, and take just a shade off of that right there, and then set it back on. But you can see I need a little bit more gap up front. I like to have a little gap right here. That gives me room for that wedge to expand. So I'm going to take it apart, do a little fine tuning, and we'll put that bad boy on there with the curve cut in it and set the wedge. All right, let's set that head on there. I got it down all but a 1/2 inch. I went ahead and cut the curve. Let me dig out a little debris here. As you can see, that curve isn't closed. I got a little gap here and there. But when we set this down on here, we'll watch and make sure that kerf don't close up. If the kerf closes up, you need to take a little bit more off, about halfway down to the end. That way you take the pressure off that and keeps that kerf open for that big 3/8 wedge to go in there. You notice that wedge is shaped like the eye. It stands to reason. And since this is a flat bottom, it's the same distance from the front to the back. It's level, so my wedge will stay level. And this wedge is long, so there'll be quite a bit sticking up there. I cut my kerf 3/4 of the way down this axe. Once it's set, when I drive this wedge in there, it'll end up with about that much depth. So let's set it on there. We'll set it down and check it. Oh, wow, it's set. Check that kerf. Kerf's still open. It's set. It's on. She ain't coming off. That's it. It's landed. The eagle has landed. Goats, buddy, I'm jealous. This is a beautiful axe. So what I'm going to do now is throw some glue on that wedge and we're going to send it home. Yes, we are. So let me set that down. Give me a little glue somewhere. There it is. Now a lot of fellas can use Gorilla Glue, which works great. Type Bond 2, 3, any kind of good quality wood glue. I happen to have a Type Bond 2 here because that's what I had. But they all work. Wedge, axe, down, driving axe. I'll tell you what, since I need a good pole, square, let's use my wedge banger to set it. It's got a good flat pole. This one here, this is a Buck and Billy handle, which I haven't done anything to but halved it. This is the one we put pins in. But I like the palm swell. A lot of guys don't. I like a good palm swell. So when you're driving wedges one-handed, sometimes you got to hold on to it, choke up on it, however. But it won't leave your hand. You won't never have to worry about it. So we're going to use this to drive the wedge with once I get it set. Let's put some glue on that wedge. Oh, we'll put some glue down in the head. Get down in there, glue. We'll let that run down in there. Prop that thing up there. Let it run in there. Put some glue on here. I hope everybody's having a good day. I know everybody sees hafting videos all the time, but that's all right. I like to talk to y'all. Sometimes it's not about what I'm doing. It's about the conversation. It's about visiting with y'all, and I really enjoy it. I'm not in this for the fame. It's just not. I just enjoy talking to folk. If I had 10 subscribers or 10,000, makes no difference to me. I just enjoy the companionship, the camaraderie with men and ladies. Can't leave y'all ladies out. I know there's a few out there that either do this or support a man that does, so can't leave y'all out. And we'll get that glue on that wedge real good. Because about the time that we get ready to drive this thing on there, we're going to be ready to drive it in there. That glue will be done down in that handle. The glue on the fingers, we'll get it off later. All right, let's start this wedge straight. That way we won't have no issues. You always want to make sure you get it started straight in there. That's the most important part. Let's give it a tap and straighten it up. Well, nobody's ever did that before. I certainly have. And just done it again. Don't y'all think you're going to do this without making mistakes. It's going to happen. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it but learn from it and move on. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. They all follow a general rule. Don't drop the wedge in the sawdust. Rule number 1. All right. Let's just wipe it on the britches. Mama likes doing that, cleaning all my britches with glue on them. Let's try this again. Okay. This time we're going to set it in there like we're supposed to. Hold on to it, John. You got to hold on to it, son. There we go. You got to hang on to it, buddy. There, now she's straight, started down in the eye. Now we can send it home. It's already splayed out, and I ain't even set it in there yet. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Goats, this head ain't coming off its handle. No, sir. She is splayed way out. And I'm going to keep forgetting it. She's down. That's as far as I can take it. She ain't going no further. She is as tight as a tick. So let me let that dry a little bit, and I'll clean it up, and I'll bring you all back, and we'll take a look at it before we put a little torch into it. Not a lot. I don't want to burn it too bad. We'll give it a light torching and some Watco, and we'll look at it. Okay, I got it hafted. What I'm doing now is cleaning up the head. Let me get around here where y'all can see. Cleaning up the head. What I'm doing is I'm taking that infamous speed bump that everybody talks about. I'm going to take that speed bump away and make this a smooth transition all the way out to the edge. This is a chopper, so it's what it's going to do. When I get done, it'll be nice and flat in here and just transition into the end. I went ahead and ground the pole. That way he won't have no issues with wedges. And that's what we're doing. So when I get both sides done and get it cleaned up, we'll burn it and Watco it. And he should be good to go. Awesome. Just wanted to fill you in on the progress. Awesome. All right. just wanted to bring you back what I did. Grapefruit. It's pretty good. However, if you got an old axe like this one, it's a beautiful axe. I cleaned it up pretty good. It's nice and shiny. However, I don't particularly care for the shiny axes. So, if you ever want to put patina back on a blade, make it look like it's, oh, you know, been in some old guy's pocket for about 30 years, try acid from a grapefruit or a lemon or lime, citrus. What that does, it's got acid in it. And it will actually turn good tool steel a nice dark patina. And it don't take long. A couple hours. You notice I've got a pocket knife. Most men carry them in my pocket. Now that blade looked like that axe about, oh, I've had that knife ever since me and Pops was still here. We each got one. But I've had it for a while, and I cut grapefruit with it every day. And it can get as black as coal. But I'll stop and clean it up. But I figured I'd share that tip with you. I'll leave that acid on there for a while, and then I'll go ahead and burn it and bring y'all back. Just a little tip from me. Okay. Now we got her cleaned up. Just have to put a little heat on that wood. Burned it just a little bit. I didn't want to overburn it. Cleaned up the head. I'll keep putting acidic juice on there, and it'll give it that patina that I want. It's very sharp. I can shave with it. But it turned out awesome. Let's put some Watco on it. No, I don't have a oil can yet, but we're gonna get there, so I'll make a mess as usual. But that's all right. That glue's had time to dry in that head too, so it'll be all right. We'll get there. Let's see what she's gonna look like. Oh my. She's gonna be beautiful. I just love doing this kind of work. Seeing the end result. She really gonna turn out nice. That grain in these handles is something. That grain is beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. Yes, it is. You know, I didn't know anything about Watco. I used to use just boiled linseed oil, and boiled linseed oil is really good. It works awesome. But it does have a little bit longer drying time, and I'm not sure about its molecular properties once it gets in the wood. Now, I've researched this, and Watco actually soaks down into the wood and bonds the wood fibers together. So it's pretty strong stuff. Might as well smear a little on that old head right there. Oh yeah, she's gonna be nice. Let's pour some in the eye. Coat that eye real good. Get it all over it. Oh yeah. Now I did use the same wedge that came with the handle, and I believe it's a cherry wedge. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. Yes, it is. Get a little down in there. Get it all over it. We want that handle to stay hydrated. Keeps it tight. I love it. I ain't careful, I'm gonna cut myself. Oh man. She just turned out just absolutely. I might as well go on and put a little more on that handle, and I'll tell you why. She's dry. And I might as well do it. Just go on and put a bunch of it on there. Use my hands. Now we're putting some on there. Oh my. Look at the grain. Oh yeah. Goats, buddy. That's the best head I had. I hope you like it. It's a 4-pound Warren, USA. I cleaned her up. She's in good shape, got a beautiful eye. Hung on a J&J straight stick 28-inch working man's axe handle. Buddy, you got a tool here. I'm going to tell you. I want you to get this axe and beat the living snot out of it. Because that's what it was cleaned up and hafted for, to work with. If I was going to do a showpiece, there wouldn't be a scratch on that head. The pole I cleaned up, just squared it up real good, chamfered it so it don't bust wedges. As you can see, it hafted beautifully. She's laid over. Absolutely perfect. Feels good in the hand. Come right out of the pouch. There you go, my friend. I'll get her darkened up a little bit more. If not, I'll leave it like that. And I'll get her out there to you when I get a box for it. I appreciate everybody watching. Yes, sir. Everybody go give Goats Firewood and Farms a shout out. He's a good fella. Works hard for a living. Takes care of his family. You can always use a shout out and a good tool now and again. Everybody goes through tools, you know, when you work for a living. Tools don't last forever, but I hope this one lasts you many years. It's got a great handle on it. Jeff and Susan Ward, Jay Ferris, Janelle, y'all done a good job. Built a good handle for a working man. I appreciate you, and I hope Goat likes it. Y'all be safe. Watch your top knot. I appreciate y'all coming by, I do. We'll move on to another project.